Good morning, everyone. Dear students, in our last lecture, we have completed the equation of continuity for the fluids, in which we obtain the equation of continuity which states that the volume flux of fluid through the tube remains constant. Also, the flow of mass per unit time remains constant. It is important part related with hydrodynamics. Today we are going to learn again a very important article related with fluid dynamics. It is Bernoulli's principle. So it is very important article related with fluid dynamics. So before going to study Bernoulli's principle, we know that when fluid is flowing through the tube of different cross-sectional area, its speed is greater at narrow region and its speed is smaller in wide region. But what about pressure? It is given by Bernoulli. So Bernoulli suggests that the speed of fluid in narrow region increases, but internal pressure of the fluid in the same narrow region decreases. This phenomenon is called as Bernoulli's principle. So this is Bernoulli's principle. The speed of fluid in narrow region increases, but at the same time the pressure in the same narrow region decreases. Exactly opposite part takes place at wide region. So this phenomenon is called as Bernoulli's principle. This Bernoulli's principle gives, or Bernoulli's equation gives, the relation between different physical quantities as number 1, here it is, the speed of fluid at any point. So Bernoulli's principle gives relation between number 1, the speed of fluid at any point during its flow. The second part, it is the pressure of surrounding fluid at that point, and third one is the height of that point above the reference level. So these are the three different terms related with each other in Bernoulli's equation. So Bernoulli's equation gives relation between these three physical quantities, that is speed of fluid at any point during its flow, the pressure of surrounding fluid at that point during the flow, and the height of that point above the reference level. So again, a very important information about Bernoulli's equation, that is Bernoulli's equation is an application of work energy theorem for fluids in motion. So this is very important part we have to remember while studying the Bernoulli's principle. That is, Bernoulli's principle is an application of work energy theorem. Work energy theorem, we have seen, or we learned this work energy theorem in last standard, which states that work done during the motion of object from one point to another point is equal to the sum of total change in kinetic energy and potential energy during the 2 points. So this is Bernoulli's equation what we have to study today. So see here, so we have to learn about Bernoulli's principle. So Bernoulli's principle, as we have stated, that it gives relation between speed, pressure and the height of that point during its flow. So here is the diagram which represents a flow of tube. This diagram, in this diagram it is clear that we can observe here the tube having different area of cross section at different points, different height also. So let us study the information about this figure. So consider the flow of an ideal fluid through the tube of varying cross section and height. So this tube having different area of cross section and different height. So it is explained here. So we have to consider here the different physical quantities related with this figure. Let V1, V2 be the speed of the fluid at point capital P and capital R. So V1, V2 are the speed of the fluid at point capital P and capital R. Next, A1, A2 be the area of cross section of the fluid at point P and R. The tube having different area of cross section, it is A1 at point P and A2 at point R. So A1 is greater than A2, we can observe here. So next part we have to consider here, P1, P2 be the pressures of this fluid at point P, means at this end, and at this end it is P2. So D1 and D2 be the distances covered by the fluid at point P and capital R. So these are the distances covered by the fluid at point P and R. Distance D1 is between point P and Q, and distance covered by the fluid between point R and S is D2. F1 be the force acting on element fluid at point P, it is P1 A1, and F2 be the force acting on element fluid between point R and S, we can see it is at point R. It is F2 equal to P2 A2. So these are the forces in terms of pressure and area. dV, which is equal to product of area and distance at point P and at point R, it is product of area A2 and D2, be the volume of fluid at point capital P and capital R. So dV, which is equal to constant near point P, it is same as it is near point capital R. Next we have to consider the fluid which is having density equal to rho, which is the density of this fluid which is flowing through this tube. And finally we have to consider here the mass of fluid m equal to product of rho and volume here, which is the mass of fluid flowing through the tube. So rho equal to, this is m equal to mass of the fluid between these 2 points or during this flow between region P to Q and also between point R to S. As per equation of continuity, this mass remains constant, and this mass m is equal to product of density of fluid and volume with the mass of fluid flowing through area A1 and A2. We have to obtain actually the equation, that is Bernoulli's equation. So here we have to consider once again the same figure showing flow of tube having different area of cross section and different height, different velocities and distances covered by the fluid during the flow. So for ideal fluid, work done on the element fluid is, or element fluid by the surrounding fluid from point capital P to capital R is, it is given by, this work done is given by W equal to F1 D1 minus F2 D2. So for ideal fluid, as far as this flow of fluid is concerned, it is taken for ideal fluid flowing through this tube, which is incompressible one. So for ideal fluid, work done on the element fluid by the surrounding fluid from point P to capital R, between point P to capital R, the element fluid flowing, the work done to push this fluid from point P to capital R, we can see by the surrounding fluid is work done equal to F1 D1, which is work done near point P, minus F2 D2, which is work done near point R. But F is equal to product of pressure and area, so we can write here W equal to P1 A1 D1 minus P2 A2 D2, where F1 is P1 A1 and F2 equal to P2 A2 as initially mentioned. Here A1 D1 equal to volume. We considered initially A1 D1 equal to A2 D2 equal to volume, which is dV. So here P1 into dV minus P2 into dV. So W equal to, where dV is common, take it outside the bracket, it is P1 minus P2 into dV. So this is very important relation, initial relation, which is the work done on the element fluid by the surrounding fluid in moving from point P to capital R. Now we have to consider here the mechanical work. This work is equal to the total change in mechanical energy of the fluid. So this work done is also equal to the total change in mechanical energy of the fluid. As initially mentioned, the Bernoulli's principle is application of work energy theorem. So this is nothing but work energy theorem. So what is change in mechanical energy? Mechanical energy means kinetic and potential. So work done equal to, that is mechanical energy change, is equal to sum of kinetic energy, change in kinetic energy plus change in potential energy. So what is total change in mechanical energy? It is equal to the work done, which is equal to again this one. So W equal to change in kinetic energy plus change in potential energy. So this is actually work energy principle, and Bernoulli's principle is actually application of work energy theorem. So once again same diagram showing different levels of fluid and the respective physical quantities. Now we have to obtain actually the equation, Bernoulli's equation. So we have to obtain separate relation for change in kinetic energy and change in potential energy. So here comes work equal to once again change in kinetic energy plus change in potential energy, which is actually work energy theorem. So now this change in kinetic energy equal to kinetic energy 2, which is at point R, and kinetic energy 1, which is near point P. Therefore the change in kinetic energy can be written as 1 by 2 m v2 square, final velocity its square, minus 1 by 2 into m v1 square, where v1 is initial at point P. So this is change in kinetic energy. So instead of m we can write in terms of density. Here first m is constant, take it outside the bracket, it is common part v2 square minus v1 square inside the bracket. So this is change in kinetic energy. But instead of m we can write in terms of density and volume, it is rho into dV, m equal to rho into dV, where rho is density, it is equal to mass upon volume, but mass can be written as product of density and volume. So this is equation 3 gives one part of equation 2, that is change in kinetic energy. Similarly we can obtain expression for change in potential energy. So change in potential energy delta PE equal to PE2, which is final potential energy at point R due to height h2, and potential energy 1 initial at point P due to height of the liquid column, element liquid we can say, of height h1. So it is mgh2 minus mgh1. Here again mg is common, take it outside the bracket. We can write here change in potential energy equal to mg h2 minus h1 equal to rho into dv into g. Instead of m, once again product of density and volume into g h2 minus h1. So this is equation number 4, which is the second part of equation 2, that is change in potential energy. So we obtain here first part change in kinetic energy given by equation 3, second part change in potential energy given by equation 4. Using this 3 and 4 in equation 2, we get the total mechanical energy. So using 3 and 4 in equation 2, we can write total mechanical energy as total mechanical energy or work done is equal to sum of change in kinetic energy plus change in potential energy. So this is equation number 5, which gives total change in mechanical energy in moving the element fluid from point P to capital R. So this equation is similar to equation number 1. So from equation 1 and 5, what was equation 1? It was W equal to P1 minus P2 in bracket outside the bracket dV. So equating these two relations, we get the actual part. So this is P1 minus P2. It was given in equation number 1, it is P1 minus P2 into dV equal to 1 by 2, which is this part, rho into dV into V2 square minus V1 square plus rho into dV into G into H2 minus H1. See here carefully, dV is common on both sides, it can be cancelled. So finally, if dV get cancelled, we can write this P1 minus P2 1 by 2 into rho into V2 square minus V1 square plus rho into G into H2 minus H1. So actually we divide this total equation by dV. This is total work done divided by dV, means work done per unit volume. This was total kinetic energy. This total kinetic energy divided by volume means kinetic energy per unit volume, and this was total change in potential energy divided by volume means change in potential energy per unit volume. So these quantities are actually the Bernoulli's. This is Bernoulli's equation, and it states that this Bernoulli's equation states that the work done per unit volume, this total work done per unit volume, this one, it is equal to total work done per unit volume of the fluid by the surrounding fluid is equal to the sum of changes in kinetic energy and potential energy per unit volume which occurs during the flow. See here carefully. So this is actually total work done per unit volume. It is equal to the sum of change in kinetic energy per unit volume and change in potential energy per unit volume. This is the same equation in words. So this is Bernoulli's equation. It states that the work done per unit volume of a fluid by the surrounding fluid is equal to the sum of changes in kinetic energy per unit volume and potential energy per unit volume that occurs during the flow. So this equation can be also written as, by separating the terms, we can write this equation as P1, this minus V1 square multiplied by this factor taken to left side, it becomes plus 1 by 2 rho into V1 square plus, again this rho into G into H1 which is minus 1, it taken to left side becomes positive, so it is rho into G into H1 equal to the terms having suffix 2 taken to right side, it is P2 plus 1 by 2 rho into V2 square plus rho into G into H2. This total part is constant. So this is, as initially mentioned, the Bernoulli's principle includes the relation between physical quantities, different physical quantities, that is the pressure, kinetic energy and potential energy. So these are height, we can say, the relation between. So this is actually the Bernoulli's principle in different form. So in general form, the same Bernoulli's principle can be written as the sum of pressure plus 1 by 2 rho into V square plus rho into G into H, that is work done per unit volume plus kinetic energy per unit volume plus potential energy per unit volume for the fluid during this flow remains constant. So this is actually the statement of Bernoulli's principle or Bernoulli's equation. तर विद्यार्थी मित्रांनो, टोटल कायनेटिक एनर्जी, टोटल वर्क डन जे असतं फ्लुइडला ह्या पॉईंटपासून इथपर्यंत नेण्यासाठी ते बरोबर असतं चेंज इन कायनेटिक प्लस चेंज इन पोटेन्शियल एनर्जी. आपण सेपरेटली चेंज इन कायनेटिक एनर्जीचं एक्सप्रेशन तयार केलं, कायनेटिक एनर्जी 2 मायनस कायनेटिक एनर्जी 1, ह्या पॉईंटची आणि या पॉईंटची कायनेटिक एनर्जी यांची वजाबाकी, त्याला सोडवलं तर इक्वेशन नंबर 3 आपल्याला मिळालं रो आणि डीव्हीच्या स्वरूपामध्ये. सिमिलरली पोटेन्शियल एनर्जीमधला चेंज म्हणजे इथली कमी असेल ड्यू टू H1, इथली हाईट वाढली म्हणजे इथं पोटेन्शियल एनर्जी जास्त, कारण मास तर तेवढंच आहे, म्हणून या पॉईंटची पोटेन्शियल एनर्जी मायनस या पॉईंटची पोटेन्शियल एनर्जी, तिला चेंज इन पोटेन्शियल एनर्जी म्हणायचं, त्याला म्हटलं रो आणि डीव्हीच्या स्वरूपामध्ये. हे दोन्ही इक्वेशन ॲक्च्युली इक्वेशन नंबर 2चा भाग आहेत, म्हणून यांची बेरीज केली तर आपल्याला इक्वेशन नंबर 5 अशा पद्धतीने मिळालं. ही वर्क डन, वर्क एनर्जी थिअरमनुसार टोटल वर्क डन ड्यू टू प्रेशरच्या बरोबर असतं, जे की इक्वेशन 1 दाखवलं होतं आपण, म्हणून इक्वेशन 1 आणि 5ला इक्वल केलं तर आपल्याला ह्या क्वांटिटी मिळतात.